Hi, I'm the Shitcoin Sherpa, and this is Rekt Podcast.
Hello and welcome to Rekt Podcast. I am Bunchu alongside my esteemed colleague and co-host Crypto Chamber. Chamber, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good, man. You know, it's, what is it, Tuesday? I don't even know what day it is. I'm going to call it Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
I got about 3 cups of coffee in me, and we have a guest on today, so I put on my pants, which is nice.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so, it's a good day. It's a good day. How's your day going, Bunch?
I'm busy.
Busy.
I had to do real work. I'm like sweating right now because I got held up by my boss, and then so my boss, I actually finally told him the Babe Ruth story today.
Oh, did you?
And so he kept me on for an extra 5-10 minutes after the fact, and was talking to me about it, and so I just totally lost track of time. So I'm sweating, and I don't even know what to do.
Well, we have a guest, so that's going to alleviate some of the workload on our end.
We do have a guest. So we are proud to be joined today by the one and only Shitcoin Sherpa. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How are y'all, man?
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. How have you been dealing with COVID-19 life?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, I'm in kind of the medical field, so it's been a joy.
Are you frontline-ish medical? Are you work for kind of medical supplies? How or what's your kind of status?
Yeah, we run basically life-preserving meds to hospice patients.
Ah, okay.
And so, yeah, it's very much frontline, and it's we've had a few COVID-19 positive people already, which is added a whole nother layer of complexity to the job.
Sure, I'm sure. So I'm in the medical field too, but I do medical sales, and I call on nursing homes. So it's we've been stuck at home not having to go out into them, and I don't think we'll be into them for a while, but we call on home health and hospice as well, and I'm sure everybody I'm talking to is in the same boat as you. So thanks for getting out there and keeping people safe and healthy as much as you can.
Oh, thanks. I try. I mean, it's been a lot less volume because, like you said, nursing homes and all that are pretty much closed. So it's been interesting to try to deal with all that stuff. But I'm just glad that we're still able to get out there and not be completely hindered by the shutdowns.
Yeah, I hear you. Chamber, what's up with you, man?
Just buying stock in Clorox and Lysol, considering that's the cure now. So just waiting for that to moon.
I think it's just disinfectant enemas. That's what we're supposed
that's
to
it,
do.
Damn it.
Yeah. And I don't know, I've missed this in the last 24 hours. Is there aliens now? I don't what's going on?
Yeah. So yesterday the Navy, I believe, released 3 videos of
the Navy, the actual Navy?
The Navy, the US Navy, yeah. Released due to Freedom of Information Act, which I believe was spearheaded by Tom DeLonge and his Reach for the Stars Academy. I feel like that's the name of it. I feel I'm pretty close on that one. He basically, he left Blink-182. Obviously, Tom DeLonge, famous for Blink-182, left Blink-182 to start Reach for the Stars Academy, which was basically a weird, emo punk guy basically looking into aliens. But apparently these guys have been doing a lot of good work, with Freedom of Information Act stuff, getting, government to release videos and archive footage and stuff like that. So, as per yesterday, 3, UFO videos, Navy UFO videos were released. I watched them.
Are we a believer in this or what?
I mean, I'm wide open about it. I wouldn't say that I've researched enough to say for sure one way or the other, but I definitely think it's a possibility. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that, we're the only ones out there. That'd be depressing.
That would be very depressing, yes.
Chamber, are you totally on board?
You know me. I'm a fan of things that are weird like this. I'm not 100% sold on UFOs. Like are we looking at things like in the videos? I'm sure most people have seen them. I mean, are we actually looking at aliens from another planet, or is it something else? I don't know. But it is weird though, like that they released these 3 videos and basically crickets. Like people are still talking about disinfecting enemas and whatnot. So
you think Trump's leaking these videos or what?
Maybe. I mean, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be leaking
Bigfoot.
I'd be leaking Bigfoot videos, alien videos, that alien autopsy video.
I've got to get people to stop talking about bleaching their buttholes, and I've got to get back to release the Bigfoot. The Sasquatch needs to be released.
That's right. Like he stumbles around that garden looking like half Sasquatch himself. So it is interesting. But yeah, I think it is weird that not a lot of fanfare considering this is pretty big deal. But here we are.
Interesting. Well, here we are. This is life, I guess, now. So
yeah.
We are deep within 2020 life now. So, but anyway, let's get to some Sherpa news. So, Sherpa, we appreciate you joining us today. And we you've recently started your own podcast, correct? Talk a little bit about, what your podcast is about, how you got the, motivation to start it, and kind of what that whole process has been like.
Well, it's called This Crypto Life, and I've been kind of just experimenting with it a lot. I'm new to the whole podcast game, and so I've tried one-on-one interviews with quite a few people, which is really interesting, just getting into their hobbies and passions and everything. But I've also been doing panel discussions here lately, just because of COVID and everybody being stuck at home. It's kind of fun to hear from people all over the world and, how things are in their area, how they're coping with it.
So, yeah, me and Chamber are mostly talking to ourselves these days, but definitely, I love to hear all the guest stories and everything like that. So, what kind of brought you into, crypto Twitter? How did you become the Shitcoin Sherpa?
Well, I had started, actively trading back around July 2017, of course, when I think the majority of the 2017 bunch kind of came in at the same time. Everybody.
Oh, so you were probably around our time. When in 2017?
Around July.
Okay, so I was probably April, May, and then Chamber was later in December. Chamber bought the top.
Yeah,
nice.
the tippy top.
So at least for you got to experience some sort of boom.
Oh yeah, I mean the whole 2017 euphoria. That was. I think a lot of people came in, right whenever they saw it dump to 3K after the China FUD, and. Kind of just thought that was the best time to get in at the moment, and, had a whole lot of fun for a few months, and then, Chamber comes in and ruins everything.
Yeah, I know. Well, you guys needed somebody to sell your bags to.
Accurate. Yeah, that's right. We sold our bags to Chamber.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's exciting. I always like to hear people that have had a better entry point than me, so it warms the cockles of my heart.
What was the first shitcoin you bought?
Oh God, the first one I bought and actually remember, making some gains off of it was probably SafeX.
Oh, interesting. I don't think I ever owned any SafeX. Chamber, did you?
I don't believe so. Did it rebrand to a different name at any point?
No, they've got SafeX Cash now, and they're still going. But basically, I saw it dump on Bittrex and they were about to delist it, so it went down to like 60 sats, and then it went over to Cryptopia, and they delisted it a couple days later because they got pissy. And I just held it that whole time, and it got on, Trade Satoshi, which is now defunct as well. And it went up to like 500 sats, and so that was it was fantastic.
Did you feel like you were, the best trader out there?
Oh yeah, everybody did.
Yeah, I know.
17.
I'm a retired former great trader. I think everybody did at that time, right? Like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're winning all the time, you think you're a boss, and it doesn't occur to you that like everybody was winning even on the worst crap possible in 2017.
Yeah, it teaches you really quickly when everything goes to shit, like how to actually identify some good things and bad things, right?
Right.
Oh, man. Chamber, are you still a trading god or what?
Yeah, I think I am. I was off of trading, and then I would say in the last few days I've been upping my.
Well, I keep hearing you talk about this multi-day alt season we're about to have.
I do like to throw out the multi-day alt season.
Sherpa, what do you think? We getting a multi-day alt season coming soon or what?
I mean, I hope not. My biggest desire for altcoins is that we see the vast majority of them, drop off and never pump again, so that we can get some decent pumps on the good ones. I mean, you've just got so many things still hanging out from 2017, 2018 that are just garbage.
So what would you classify, if somebody is new, or if they're just, having a hard time maybe identifying what's good from what's bad, what advice would you give them on that? Like, what are the good ones? What are the bad ones? What to look for?
I mean, you've got to look at use case as the main thing. Does it have any actual selling point? Does it have a plan to actually generate income somehow? Because a lot of them really don't. I mean, you had so many transaction coins coming out in 2017 who just thought that they were going to be better than Bitcoin because they were a little bit faster.
Right.
And, that's not really a use case because we're still trying to sell Bitcoin.
That's true. No, I would agree. Chamber, what would you add to that? What's good, what's bad? How do you identify?
I don't know what's good and what's bad anymore.
You just buy and sell based on whimsy?
I buy and sell based on usually charts, and I usually kind of get some sort of roadmap. So if we have like a mainnet coming up and the chart lines up with possibly a pump going into mainnet, I like to buy those, like, not to shill any particular coin or anything like that. But I was looking at one today. I didn't buy it, but I think Matic on Binance, it was like an IEO, I believe. I think it's got a mainnet coming up in like 3 weeks, and the chart hasn't pumped already. I mean, that could be. I'm not sure. Something like that off the top of my head. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'm just saying, like, that's a thing that could happen. And it probably won't because I'm looking at it, so it'll probably just dump to zero. As soon as I look at anything, it just usually goes to zero. So I apologize to anybody holding Matic currently for even bringing it up.
Oh my goodness. So Sherpa, are you doing, much active trading? Are you more like, fundamental kind of, I'm going to look and do my homework and then invest? How do you kind of approach the market at this point? Or are you kind of, out of most alts?
I'm definitely actively trading. I kind of fluctuate on, where I'm at with it. I was doing a lot of margin trading for a bit just because I didn't really get into it much in 2017. But I am a degenerate gambler, so...
Welcome to the club, baby.
I mean, it just really definitely scratches that itch. But I do like trading, micro caps and everything. That's what I was doing beforehand, and kind of what I'll be doing now that I've been liquidated so many times margin trading.
Interesting. Yeah. So I mean, I had Bitmec or Bitfinex liquidation emails on speed dial for me at one point. So that's that I can relate to a liquidation or two. But anyway, so what else, Chamber? What do we got here?
I don't know. I got nothing on my end. I'm just getting berated online for my awful takes. As of
You've
late.
been getting crushed.
Just crushed. Just a man.
Sherpa, you a big sports guy? No. Okay.
Good.
Good. Well, good. It means you wouldn't notice a Chamber bad take then when it slaps you in the face.
First of all, my takes are good. So maybe I can convince Sherpa because he's not a big sports guy. We can just use logic and we can keep,
No, that's not how this works. You can't go convince somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about because you don't know because you're wrong.
We can just use logic. So
Yeah.
my biggest beef as of late is that sports fans as a whole don't understand generational talent, and by that I mean every generation will, as a whole, will be better than the generation that came previously. Meaning, if you take an average baseball player in the 1980s, theoretically, that baseball player in the 2000s, that average baseball player would be a better version of that average player. The same goes for the superstar. So a superstar in the 80s would then be a better version, 20, 25 years later. It's fairly simple. It's the same reason Jesse Owens wouldn't even sniff a podium today in a 100-meter.
I did think that was a good point.
That is. We're just physically bigger. Like somebody. So the whole thing can obviously, if you're not familiar, there's a Michael Jordan documentary that's been a buzz as of late online, and you just said, that's great. Michael Jordan's fantastic. He had a phenomenal career. Amazing athlete, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. There's no denying it. But at the same time, there's no denying that a person, say, like LeBron James, who is bigger, stronger, faster, arguably more talented, is a better player than Michael Jordan. And again, nothing that Michael Jordan did wrong. He just was, in a generation prior. So he doesn't have the talent.
Basically, he's saying Michael Jordan isn't good.
As good today. My argument was I didn't think Michael Jordan would necessarily be a top 5 player today. I think he could crack the top 5 today versus his competitors.
All right, did that convince you, Sherp?
I mean, I think it makes sense. Just because as time goes on, you need a lot more to impress people, and so I think.
And you're also learning from previous generations, right? Like,
yeah. There's
absolutely. No argument there. Like, you wouldn't have a LeBron James without a Michael Jordan, but it still doesn't make Michael Jordan better than LeBron James.
But I mean, that holds true for most subjects, I'd think.
Exactly.
I mean, you look at, what shows had top ratings, back whenever there were 3 channels, and they were garbage. Most of them were garbage because you had 3 options. And
Friends was considered one of the greatest shows of all time.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that, people. Friends.
Yeah. And I don't think it would be that popular if it came out now,
No.
Hey, one thing is for sure. No one told you life was going to be this way.
No.
There you go. Thank you. I was waiting for somebody to get me there. So Sherpa, I do want to ask, how have your Zoom meetings been going? I've been seeing you have the public drinking Zooms going lately. I almost jumped on one once and I couldn't figure out how to, I think you might have guys been done by the time I tried to get on. But tell us a little bit about how that's going.
Splendidly. We've got people from, all over the world. We have people from Mexico, Canada, all over Europe and Australia in there at some points, and we all just get hammered and talk shit about how horrible this all is.
Yeah, I mean, so it sounds like a great place for us to go hang out one night, Chamber. That's what I think we need to make that happen. So, who's been on in the chat with you guys?
I've had Colin the Crypto Ocelot on there. Brittany or Slitney, she was in there a time or two. Nix Ops, Cryptoro. I've had him in there a lot.
Toro.
Yeah. Yeah, and just a whole bunch of them. Steven Ostecki, Simon Breeden's on there most weeks. Wendy drops in a lot too.
Love Wendy. Love Wendy.
Yeah, she's great.
Yep. Cool, man. That sounds fun. Well, Chamber and I will have to jump on one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing, we always ask, it's not Rekt podcast if we don't get a Rekt story from our guests. So between, 2017 when you first got in and now, I'm sure you must have at least one good crypto Rekt story.
Riggedy, Rekt, son!
Oh, yeah. I would say probably the biggest one was towards the end of 2017. I was playing a lot off of fundamentals then and what had a good use case. And exchange coins were really blowing up, so you saw like BNB and KuCoin shares and stuff like that moaning a lot. And there was
Chamber used to be a big KuCoin shares guy.
I agree. Yes, it's very true.
I don't think now's the worst time to be a KuCoin shares guy. I don't know about back then, how it did holding through, but yeah, so I had seen a project that was basically trying to do some of the same stuff, but then they had some interesting stuff about their proposed exchange, and I had averaged up from about 1K whenever I came in July to about 10,000 by mostly trading shitcoins.
Nice.
And I put a lot into this one. I think it was Sugar Exchange, which, dumb name, but
dumb name.
I ended up holding that thing down to about where I had about 3K left, and then my brother-in-law needed a loan, so I cashed out. Luckily at that point, because it would be pennies now.
So you were all in on it.
Oh yeah. I had a little bit in another really horrible shitcoin project, but yeah, the majority of it was in Sugar Exchange at the time.
Were you an ICO guy at all?
No, I never did ICOs because it felt like you usually got dumped on if you were one of the early people in there. Even on some of these pre-sales, the one thing that really had me kicking myself is I was in Crypto Dog's Discord group, and we had a guy who was friends with one of the people from Cardano or ADA, and he was talking about he could get just a ton of it ahead of the Bittrex listing even, and we were just like meh, and we like the project, but not enough to throw 2 or 3 ETH at it a piece. And been kicking myself on that one ever since because it was drastically cheaper than even the listing price or the lowest price.
I got a follow-up question here because we kind of brushed that your last statement we brushed over a little quickly for my liking. You said you had taken money out of Sugar. And had you kept it in, that would have been pennies. You said, and this was all based on on your brother-in-law asking you for a loan.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's never happens. Usually, brother-in-law asks you for a loan, you never see that money again. Unless he didn't pay you back, it looks like he may have done you a favor.
No, he definitely he hasn't paid me back. He's paid back a little bit of it, but.
Now,
either way, it's pennies.
Has he paid you back more than your bag would have been worth today?
Oh, that's a great question because then it could still be worth it.
Oh yeah, well if he had bought me a Big Mac, then he would have paid me back more than it'd be worth today.
Interesting. So still, even though he hasn't paid you back, you're still in a better position, which is interesting. That's a nice turn of events.
Hey, someday he will pay that back, and it'll be well worth it.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Someday he'll get a windfall and he'll be like, oh man, I owe some people some money, and there you go. He'll be good to go. Chamber, you ever loan any family members any money?
I have. I mean, first of all,
I feel like you're not really a money loaning type of guy.
I'm not approachable. My persona on the show is, I mean, it's not a persona. It's how I act in real life.
It's you. Yes, it is. Yeah, right.
Exactly. So, having people like, no one's ever asked me to borrow money. It's in like it.
Okay,
it'd be
if I
insane
came to you tomorrow and said,
if you asked me,
yes, can I grab $5,000 from you for? Dude, I got this really hot tip on sugar. You'd give it to me?
100%.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Yeah, 100%. But I like you. I mean, you are in a very small circle of people that I would entrust with money. But yeah, no, But most people, like my family, would never, like they would take a bookie loan or like a
loan shark.
Yeah, exactly. Before asking me for money, just because I'm a pain in the ass, I would never let them live it down. It's not like I would bug them to give it back to me, like at a return.
You just break their kneecaps at Thanksgiving.
Exactly. But giving me that kind of power over them is not good for anybody. It's just it would just be an ominous dark cloud hanging over them all the time, which is not fun for them. Which was amazing for me. I would love to loan people more money, but they don't ask.
All right, Sherpa. How about a real life Rekt story? Now, this can be anything, and it's completely open for your interpretation. So we've had everything on this show from dead people washing up on a beach to dead guy with a boner. A lot of dead guys, actually.
A lot of dead guys. a lot of death.
A lot of death. But it could be anything. What do you got for a real life? Yeah, it could be anything. What do you got for a real life Rekt story?
Oh God, I was talking to Chamber about this beforehand. It's like trying to pick a needle out of a stack of other needles. I've been wrecked so many times. Talking about dead guys, God, our job is right across from a hospital, and there was a guy in our parking lot one time we thought was just, passed out asleep and everything, and one of the drivers goes over and just starts, yelling at him and, almost poking him with a stick or something. And turns out the guy had gotten out of the hospital just a little bit before that and taken most of his pills from the pharmacy, and he was dead. I mean, that was...
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Just sitting in his car. I mean, 50 feet from the hospital.
So he was in the car?
Yeah, he was in the car.
Oh, so in my mind, he was just laying on the pavement.
I thought it was very clear that he was like in the driver's seat of this car.
Yeah.
I think you said parking lot. And I just thought the floor of the parking lot. That's crazy.
Me.
That's so I get So obviously he'd be, freshly moved on. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Like it hadn't been that long?
No, and I mean, several of the drivers, had went over there and seen him hours prior to that and everything, so not sure exactly when, it happened or whatever, but we were all over his case the whole time, not trying to, wake him up or anything until that one driver decided that he was going to go over there and, yell at him for a minute.
Right. Now, how close did you get?
10, 15 feet.
That's close enough. That's close enough.
I'm the one that they call whenever there's crazy shit like that happening. So, obviously he hollered up at me, and I'm like, well, call the frickin' cops. I mean, I'll come over there, but...
Now, I call that a dead body in the wild. Like, a lot of us have gone to, funerals where we've seen dead body, friends or family members in a casket, and I don't really classify, like, obviously it's a dead body, but it's not, to me, it's not the same as seeing a dead body in the wild, somebody that you don't necessarily know, and it's just there. Bunch, have you ever seen one like that, kind of like in the wild like that?
No.
It's life-changing. It really messes with
I mean, I've been in the hospitals and stuff, and like nursing homes when like there's codes going on.
Like a code yellow.
Code is, yeah, right, like so like but like I'm not in the room, you know what I mean? So, but that's the closest. Like there was definitely one time I was doing like a product in service at the hospital, and somebody, I think, like fell out of bed in the next room, like literally in the next hospital bed next to where I was. And like that was probably the closest, because they were obviously having a heart attack or something, and they fell, they couldn't get up, and everybody was rushing in, and I'm like standing right there with my, like, oh, buy my product. And so that was pretty weird, but
it's funny you mentioned the codes, because I got a funny story about codes. This has to do with Walmart codes. I don't know if you guys know that Walmart has a set of codes, much like a hospital. And my wife and I were going to a Walmart, and as we're going, and this is kind of before we had kids and whatnot, so I wasn't able to put myself in the position of the parents that were leaving. But as we're coming in, there's a family of 4 leaving, and the dad is losing his mind. Like you could tell this dad was not maybe not the nicest dad, maybe a little bit of a at least a verbal abuser, if not an actual abuser. You know what I mean, like a physical abuser. And my wife and I kind of look at each other, and he's going off, and like the wife's not saying anything. The kids are like young, and I'm like, this is a piece of shit dad here coming up. And we hear over the loudspeaker, we have a code yellow at the north entrance. Code yellow at the north entrance. And I look at my wife, I'm like, oh shit, bad parents means code yellow at Walmart. I thought that was interesting. So if you're ever in a Walmart and you hear code yellow, it means kid's about to get beat. So keep an ear out for that. Little inside info from the Walmart loudspeaker system.
You think you'd be hearing that all the time at Walmart, though?
You would think so, absolutely. So, but yeah, keep an ear open for that. Code yellow. I don't know if it's still the case. This was probably 10 years ago when I heard that, so maybe they've updated the codes. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's funny. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for all my like interview style questions, unless you got any more, Chamber.
No, I think I feel pretty good about it. I'm interested to hear, like we were talking pre-show about kind of the pitfalls of the podcast and like getting guests and whatnot. And I was talking with Sherpa about possibly getting a guest host with him, or like a co-host with him, and I thought maybe get your feedback on that, Bunch. He was saying getting interviews or getting guests can be kind of monotonous sometimes, and keeping a fresh stable of guests kind of coming in it can be difficult. And I said, well, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll probably have one out of 4, 1 out of 5 shows with a guest, and the majority of the time it's just
used to. It's funny, we used to do at least a guest a week, sometimes multiple guests a week,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because when we had Charles on, remember we had the same advice to Charles, where was basically he was trying to do a guest a day and put out 5 episodes a week, and we were like, you're gonna run out of people. And that's what's that's what happened, right?
Yeah,
so that's what happened to us. Luckily we have 2 people, and we can kind of do solo shows and
honestly
still have
limitless
some
content between
some kind of
both of our
quality in
lives,
there, right? But I would say, I think go ahead.
I was gonna say between the 2 of us, just limitless content between both of our lives. I think people are.
The guest thing is hard. It's like, because it takes time to get guests. Like if you have a schedule, you got to really be trying to get guests out a couple weeks in advance, because people's schedules change as well. Like just for this interview, our schedule and your schedule changed. I think you were sick or something, and then our schedule changed. So like just to even get this one on took a week, right? So like if you were relying on that, all of a sudden you're SOL. So you kind of have to, I would say, a backup plan, right? What do you think, Chamber?
I agree. I like, and I was telling him like how easy it is sometimes. Like if we're feeling lazy, where we wake up at like 7:30 in the morning one day, bang out an episode, and we're done for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
So I like it. Now, who do you think? Let's muse a little bit.
I don't know, Sherpa. What's
who we could pair up?
Yeah, that's true. So Sherpa, what's your strategy with that? Are you like planning that far out ahead, or what? What's the biggest struggle you get from that?
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking I probably need a co-host just so I can have that backup, somebody to talk to. I've even tried doing that solo, and I don't know, it feels a bit awkward just interviewing yourself for 60 minutes or something.
Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine. I bet you Chamber would be really good at it.
I'm trying to think if I put out a solo show once. I don't know if I know I've done like a solo interview, and those aren't as fun. But I don't think I've done a solo show.
No, but I bet you'd be good at it. Like you could totally. I feel like you could totally get on the mic and just rant.
It would take a couple of tries to get a decent product out, I think, afterwards. But yeah.
All right, well, this just in. I'm taking next week off. You're doing both shows solo.
But the question is, who do you think we should get Sherpa to pair up with? Is there?
Oh, who should be his co-host?
Let's get a couple of options out there.
Man,
I'm trying to think. Like we had mentioned Wendy. Wendy does a solo show. Maybe she could be your temporary co-host for the times you don't have guests. That might be a good one. She's always putting out stuff.
What about Sherpa and Noir?
I could see that. I could see that. The voices are like
like you guys would have some good. That'd be some good audio.
I could see that working out real well. Did you have anybody in mind, Sherpa? We could really call out on the show right now and put some pressure on them.
Those are both really good options. I mean, somebody like Witty, I don't guess you could call him out.
Oh man, that would be a good one.
Yeah,
that would be a good one. He's his own crazy crypto celebrity at this point. So I think that would be a fun co-host for sure.
I'm going to add him to the call-out list here. Anybody else we want to call out by name? Put the pressure on.
That's the only one I can think of off the top.
All right, well, that'll be our main target. That's
nice.
We'll make it happen. All right,
this is a classic Chamber move, by the way. It's a classic Chamber move to just call everybody out publicly.
I do like to call people out publicly. So obviously, we want to respect your time, Sherpa. Besides calling out people, I don't have anything else to bring. Bunch, are you all good on your end?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I think we got to play a game here. Now, Bunch, you were the last to hop on. I talked to Sherpa about his trivia knowledge and where he found the most confidence. He picked a category. I found a trivia question chart, and you are going to be matched up against Sherpa in 90s TV trivia. Rekt. Rekt.
Oh man! All right, I'm pumped about this. I don't know if I'll be any good at it, but I'm excited.
Yeah,
now, I did peruse the interwebs, and a lot of the trivias I didn't like. They were a little too easy for my liking. So I found one that I felt that was worthy. Because Bunch, I think you will do well. Sometimes I like it when it's like something you have no idea what it is, and then you're just taking stabs in the dark, which is very funny. But I think you will do well. I think this is a category you will do well in. Sherpa has gone out on a limb and proclaimed this is his most skilled, category. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to start off with Sherpa because he's our guest, and we'll start off what I think is an easy one, but we'll leave it up to Sherpa to tell us otherwise. Sherpa, question number 1. Who killed Laura Palmer on Twin Peaks?
Oh, God.
That's an easy one. Come on, that was an easy one.
One of the only shows I didn't watch.
Okay, all right.
Let me pass that one.
Do we get?
All right.
So is it pass and pass?
No. Yeah, pass and steal. Absolutely. You can take a steal if you want to, Bunch.
I have no idea for 100.
Wow. No, okay. So the answer
Never
to
watched
this one,
Twin Peaks.
for the record, both of you should both watch Twin Peaks, including the 25-year later third season that was produced by.
I was going to
Showtime.
say I thought that was like a new thing.
Phenomenal. No, so
Okay.
Twin Peaks, just for people that are out there listening, came out in 1990 and ran to 1992. It was 2 seasons of phenomenal television up until the kind of the back half of the second season.
Tell me this isn't all Twin Peaks trivia.
No, it's not all Twin Peaks.
Okay,
I figured I'd give you the but there was a movie that came out shortly thereafter the second season, and then absolutely nothing for 25 years, and then Showtime put out a third season, which was unbelievable, a must-see TV. In my opinion, a top 3 television show of all time.
Wow. Okay.
That's a hot take, I know, but
I mean, it's high praise. I usually get along with a lot of your TV recommendations. So
this is one of my favorites, and that third season just clinched its spot in the
all
top
right,
3 for me.
I'm gonna give it a go.
Okay, Bunchu, your question now. This is a South Park question.
Ooh, okay.
All right. Who is Eric Cartman's father? Who is Eric Cartman's father?
I feel like I know this. Is it
This is a good one. This is a good one. I feel like I would get this one.
Big Gay Al? Did you hear my answer?
No, I did hear your answer. It's not Big Gay Al, even though that's a terrific guess.
Is it Mr. Garrison?
It is not Mr. Garrison.
Okay, then I wouldn't have got it on 2 guesses.
We're going to have to move on to Sherpa to see if he can steal the question here.
I believe Eric Cartman's father is Eric Cartman's mother.
That is 100% correct.
What?
For those of you listening at home, Eric Cartman's mother has both a vagina and a penis, therefore
my God, I did
able
not
to
know
reproduce and make Eric himself. So Eric Cartman's father is his mother.
Ah, my God.
1 point for Sherpa. Okay. All right. Sherpa, back to you. You've taken the steal. I'm trying to find an easy one here for you. Okay. On Saved by the Bell, what was the name of the beach club the gang worked at?
The Beach Club. Oh.
I know it has Malibu in the name, I believe. I know that the wife from King of Queens was Zach's love interest. What the hell was the name of the beach club?
Oh, you are all sorts of correct so far. I'll give you a hint. It has 4 words in the title. One of them is Malibu. And 2 of them are beach and club.
I was going to say, that doesn't count. I'm pretty sure.
So there's basically just 1 word you're missing.
Malibu Hills Beach Club? I don't know.
Unfortunately, that's not correct. Bunchu, you have a chance to steal on Saved by the Bell. What was the name of the beach club the gang worked at?
Okay, so I think he wasn't too far off, but
He was not too far off.
I think it's Malibu Sands.
That is correct. The Malibu
Yes!
Sands Beach Club.
And the Max. Of course, the Max.
Of course,
you
the
know.
Max, yeah.
I was a big
Okay.
Saved by the Bell guy, and even into the beach club years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got right into the college years. I don't know about you
Yeah,
guys. I was a big
same.
fan.
I did too.
Yeah, same.
I hope there's
okay.
some Boy Meets World on here.
I believe there is. Let's move on, though. So I'm sorry. That's the third. We've gone back and forth. I want to say that's the third question. So we're going to be on question 4. We have 1 apiece so far.
So this is my question.
This
right?
is your question, Bunchu. This is a home improvement question.
Oh.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Home Improvement, what are the names of the 3 boys and who is the youngest?
Shit, I should know this. Oh my God. How do I not know
And I need
this?
their character name, not their
Right,
famous-
because
yeah.
right, of course. Isn't one of them Taylor?
Their last name is Taylor.
Oh, Taylor.
Tim Taylor is the dad.
Dang it. Oh, man. Well, isn't there Zach? Is Zach?
No, you're thinking of Zachary Taylor Thomas, I think, or one of those. Zachary
Ty Bryan.
Their real life names and their show names are far too similar.
Right. Zachary Ty Bryan.
That's right.
And Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
That's
and
right.
And then whoever the youngest one is.
And whatever the youngest one is.
Man, I'm going to have to give this up.
You want to take a stab at the 3?
Son of a bitch. All right, I'm passing.
I remember the oldest one's name is Brad.
All right.
Yeah.
We got Brad is correct. Brad is the oldest.
The other 2, I don't remember.
I'm going to give you partial points here. I'm going to give you a half point because you got 1. We were looking for Brad Taylor, Randy Taylor, and Mark Taylor. Mark being the youngest.
Randy.
That was, I believe that was the
That's Jonathan Taylor Thomas's, because Brad was definitely, Randy.
Zachary
I would have never,
Bryan,
I would have never got Randy.
Okay. Question 5. This one's for Sherpa. This is a Boy Meets World question. On Boy Meets World, what was the name of the crazy older brother? I guess I could just say older brother. It says crazy older brother. But we had the main character. I forget his name off the top of my head.
Are we just talking about who his brother is? Like, that's an easy question. Oh, man. All right, Sherpa's going to get this.
So just the brother's name on Boy Meets World.
Oh, God. You're not going to believe this. I don't remember that.
Oh, yes. I know this one.
All right, Bunchu for the steal.
So, of course, the main character is Corey Matthews.
Corey Matthews, that's correct.
And the older brother would be Eric Matthews.
That is also correct. Bunchu with the steal. I think you guys have just been stealing points from each other. I feel like
none of us have gotten our own question right.
Okay, so
the only thing I could remember about Boy Meets World was his friend Sean had the best porn name. The actor.
That's right.
What is his name?
It was
Ryder Strong.
That's right.
Yeah, Ryder Strong. That's
right. That's funny. Okay. All right. I feel like we are on Bunchu right now.
Yes, because none of us have gotten
for
our own
question 6. All right, I'm gonna give you a Frasier question.
Oh, no chance. Okay.
You'll get this one. I feel like you got this one. What's the name of Mr. Crane's dog on Frasier?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Oh, really?
I think his brother is Miles.
Yeah, I think you're correct there.
I don't know.
The dog was a very important character in Frasier.
I don't know.
Are you passing? Okay, Sherpa, your opportunity to steal. What was the name of the dog on Frasier? Eddie is correct.
Wow, nice.
Stealing. Okay, all right. Okay. All right. Sherpa, I'm going to give you another Saved by the Bell question. And these are the deep cuts that I like. So in Saved by the Bell, what were Zach and Kelly dressed up as on the night they broke up? So the infamous breakup night, they were dressed up. I believe they were in the outer courts of the gymnasium on that little picnic table or whatever they had outside, the 2 trees, to symbolize they were outside. But what were they dressed up as on that night?
Oh, God, I can picture it in my head. I just can't what they're wearing. I'm wanting to say, like, Prince Charming and one of those Disney princesses. What the hell, Cinderella or something?
Prince Charming and Cinderella is incorrect. So I'm going to give this one to Bunchu to see if he can steal. Bunchu, in Saved by the Bell, what were Zach and Kelly dressed up as the night they broke up?
How about, like, I don't know if this is right either. I'm going to go with Peter Pan and Tinkerbell.
You guys are close. These are iconic couples, but both incorrect. The most iconic couple, Romeo and Juliet, was the right answer.
Dang.
Okay. So tied 2-2. We're on question 8. This one goes to Bunchu, I believe. Yes. This is a friend's question. What was the name of Phoebe's twin sister?
Oh my God, I think I know this. You do? Man, I really think I do know it. Shit, it's escaping me. Because I remember it's something like something weird that I remember reminded me of like Disney or something.
You are correct. You are, I think, on the right track.
Shit. I can't.
Are you giving up your...
I'm gonna go with Ariel.
It's so close.
So close. It's
Yes, so
sad.
far. Unfortunately, Ariel is not the correct answer. Sherpa, do you want to try and steal this one?
Oh, I'm not only gonna try, I'm gonna do it. It's Ursula and
No!
yeah.
Come on!
So close. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Sherpa, but Ursula is the bad guy or the bad lady in the same movie that Ariel is in, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes, it is.
And even funnier, Ursula was actually a crossover character from Mad About You with Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt.
Oh my God.
Played by the same actress?
Same actress.
Interesting. Little fun fact. Little fun fact there at the end by Sherpa. We
Wow,
appreciate those.
He deserved that one then, because
That is
mine would have been a fluke. He knew it.
Okay.
Shoot. So I'm down 3-2.
Down 3-2.
Okay.
And this is question 9, and it's Sherpa's.
Oh, and it's his question, so he could put it away with this. Really,
I'm gonna give him some heat though on this one. This is gonna give him some high heat. Okay. I have one here. This is a. Okay. All right. What show did Claire Danes get her start on?
I'm wanting to say My So-Called Life.
Wow, that is correct. I think that's also the first question any of you have gotten on your turn.
That sounds
So,
right.
My So-Called Life is correct. It is now 4-2 for Sherpa. Bunch, you get one last question just to try to save face, just to try to tighten this up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna lob one to you here. I'm trying to find some Boy Meets World stuff here for you.
I don't know if I know that much Boy Meets World stuff. You literally asked me the easiest Boy Meets World question I could have.
Um,
The only easier question you could have asked me about Boy Meets World is fill in the blank. Boy meets blank. That's literally the only.
Okay. On Friends, what was the name of Ross's monkey?
I know this one. I think it's Marcel.
You are correct. And you've only lost by 1 point.
And it was actually pretty close. I mean, if I got the Ursula instead, it would have been
different
fun.
story. Different
Yeah.
story. Had you have just seen The Little Mermaid recently, maybe that
Dang
would have
it.
given you the
Oh well.
the push over the edge there.
Congrats,
but we have a
Sherpa.
winner. It is Sherpa. He has defended his claim.
Thank you. Very nice to win.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. I will leave this show a loser, just like every other show. Nothing changes. But before we get out of here, Sherpa, thank you for joining us. Tell us where people can find you, people can find your podcast, everything like that.
You can find me at Shitcoin Sherpa on Twitter, and This Crypto Life can be found with all other fine podcasts at coinhq.tv.
Yeah.
It sure can. We'll make sure to link this crypto life in the notes, so you'll be able to check that out. You can get that on coinhq.tv. You can get that on Spotify as well, correct?
Yeah, Spotify, most platforms still trying to get through on iTunes.
No iTunes, eh? I'll call up Tim Apple and see if we can get some action there. We'll call him out directly as well. Okay, so that I have no further questions.
That's going to do it for us, I think.
What do you got?
But nothing. I appreciate your time, Sherpa. Thank you for joining us. And that's going to do it for us. We'll have to have you back sometime soon, or maybe we can join you on your show for a little get-together. Maybe we'll get you on Zoom one night, and we can do a little drinking. And that's going to do it. Until next time, don't get wrecked. And that is financial advice.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. You can help support us by giving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and become a Rekt patron by signing up for a monthly tier on patreon.com. That's patreon.com/Rekt podcast. Don't get wrecked.